we are going to explain Doraemon Nobita's Picture World Tales. The movie begins with a bright morning in Tokyo. Birds are chirping, the streets are busy, and the camera slowly pans into Nobita's house. Inside, chaos has already begun. Nobita is still curled up in his futon, sleeping soundly while his alarm clock has been ringing non-stop. His mother, Tamako, yells from the kitchen, Nobita, you are going to be late for school again. Still half asleep, Nobita lazily reaches for the alarm, knocks it off to the table, and grumbles. 5 more minutes, mom. But just then, his mother storms into the room with her angry face, holding a broom. Get up right now, she shouts. Nobita jumps up in panic, throws on his uniform in the messiest way possible, grabs his school bag, and runs out of the house with a piece of bread hanging from his mouth. The classic comedy sequence immediately reminds the audience of Nobita's daily struggle. The only way to school, Nobita bumps into Jian and Sunio, who are already bragging about their new art supplies. Sunio shows off a shiny set of expensive brushes and pens that his family bought from a special art store, while Jian boasts loudly that his drawing will be so powerful that even Picasso would be scared. Nobita, sweating nervously, tries to laugh it off, but deep down, he knows he has no chance against them. At school, their teacher announces an art project. Every student must create an artwork that reflects their imagination, and the best ones will be displayed at the upcoming city exhibition. Shizuka smiles with excitement, already planning her painting. Sunio raises his hand proudly and declares that he will paint a futuristic city filled with flying cars. Jian, of course, shouts that his masterpiece will be a giant self portrait showing his unmatched strength. When it's Nobita's turn, he freezes. His notebook is filled only with clumsy doodles, crooked house, stick figures, and unfinished sketches. The class bursts into laughter, and even the teacher sighs in disappointment. Nobita lowers his head in shame. After school, Nobita walks home slowly, dragging his feet. He looks at posters of the city art festival on the walls, bright painting and sculptures decorate the posture, and Nobita whispers sadly to him, I wish I could make something like that. I wish just once everyone could admire my art. Back at home, Nobita throws himself onto his bed, crying into his pillow. Doraemon, hearing the noise, pops out of his drawer. What happened this time? He asks in calm, slightly annoyed voice. Nobita sits up with watery eyes and explains how everyone laughed at him during art class. I am hopeless, Doraemon. I cannot draw. I'll never be good at anything. Doraemon frowns but smiles softly. That's not true, Nobita. You just need the right tool and a little imagination. With that, Doraemon digs into his pouch and pulls out something mysterious. Nobita's eyes widen with curiosity. The screen fades to black, leaving us eager to see what Doraemon is about to reveal. The scene opens in Nobita's messy bedroom. His textbooks are scattered across the floor, crayons broken in half, and his failed doodles lying in everywhere. Nobita is still sulking, his face buried in his pillow, mumbling, everyone's better than me. Jian has strength, Sonia has fancy things. Shizuka is smart, and me? I cannot even draw a cat properly. Doraemon, who had just pulled out a snack from his pocket, sighs and shakes his head. You always give up before you even try, Nobita. But maybe this time we can use imagination in a way you have never experienced before. With that, Doraemon reaches his deep into his magical pouch and starts rummaging through countless items. He tosses out a tiny helicopter gadget, a toy like shrinking torch, and even a half eaten Dora cake. Nobita impatiently watches. Come on, Doraemon, I don't need your junk. I need something that can actually help. Finally, Doraemon pulls out a shimmering golden paintbrush and a glowing frame. The brush sparkles with every movement, and the frame looks like it's made of light itself. Nobita's eyes widen in amazement. This Doraemon announces dramatically, is the picture diary world set? With this, anything you draw can come to life inside a magical paint world. It does not matter if your drawing looks simple or even silly. What matters is the imagination behind it. Nobita gasps, grabbing the brush eagerly. Wait, so if I draw a cake, it will be real? Doraemon nods, warning him. Yes, but be careful. The world inside the canvas is alive. Once you enter it, it's not just for fun and games. You will face the challenges too. Ignoring the warning, Nobita quickly scrabbles a giant cake with sloppy lines and uneven layers. He places the glowing frame over his drawing, and suddenly, ooh, a swirl of light engulfs the room. The cake pop-ups out in a real 3D bigger than Nobita's himself, with a scream spilling onto the floor. Nobita's jaw drops as he happily takes a bite. It works. This is amazing. But then the cake grows larger and larger, crashing into bookshelves and knocking over furniture. Doraemon frankly pulls out his mini cleaner gadget to suck it up before the whole room is flooded with cream. See, Nobita, this is exactly what I warned about you. Use imagination carefully. Still, Nobita's eyes sparkle with excitement. If my drawing can become real, then I can finally show everyone that I am not useless. Just then, the doorbell rings. Shizuka, Sunio, and Jian arrive, curious about the Nobita's strange phone call earlier. Nobita cannot wait to show off. He waves the brush and says, You are about to see something unbelievable. He quickly sketches a large park filled with colorful trees and animals. As soon as the glowing frame covers it, the drawing comes alive, pulling everyone inside like a swirling portal. They all scream as they tumble into the painting. The next moment, the screen explodes into colors, giant flowers, glowing rivers, birds with rainbow feathers, and a sky that looks like an endless canvas. The kid lands in his breathtaking picture world. Nobita stands proudly, puffing his chest out. See, this is world. This is my world of imagination. Shizuka looks around in awe, saying it's beautiful, like we are inside a dream. Sunya smirks, not a bad Nobita, but obviously my world would look way cooler. Jian punches his fast fist into his hand. I'll make a world where everyone must admire me. Doraemon, however, looked worried. He scans the strange glowing horizon and mutters, something does not feel right. A world this big, it must also have its own dangers. The scene slowly fades, leaving the audience with a sense of both wonder and mystery. The screen burst open with dazzling colors as Nobita, Doraemon, Shizuka, Sunio, and Jian tumbles out of the swirling portal and land in the soft grass of a strange new world. The camera pans upward to reveal a sky painted like a watercolor canvas, where clouds looks like brushstrokes and the sun glows like a golden paint splatter. Nobita slowly sits up, rubbing his head. His eyes widen. We are really inside my drawing? He whispers in disbelief. Around him are enormous flowers with petals bigger than umbrellas, rivers floating with sparkling paint like water, and butterflies that looks like crayons come to life. Shizuka claps her hands together. It's beautiful, like we have stepped into a fairy tale. She bends down to touch a flower, which softly hums a tune when her fingers brush the petals. Sunio, ever the show off, pulls out his phone to take selfies. Finally, a place worthy of me. I'll be the first kid to post from inside an artwork. He strikes a pose, only to be interrupted by Gian yelling, "Get out my shot! This world is clearly made for a superstar like me." He flexes his muscles in front of the camera, nearly knocking Sunny over. Meanwhile, Nobita beams with pride. For once, everyone is impressed by something he's done. See, I told you this would be amazing. This is all thanks to my imagination, he says, puffing his chest out. Doraemon, however, stays cautious. He holds his gadget scanner, frowning. Remember that, I said, Nobita. If a world is that vibrant, it means it has its own balance of good and bad. As they wander, they encounter the fast, strange character of the picture world. A group of tiny living paintbrushes hops towards them, their bristles bouncing like hair. Each brush has eyes and squeaky little voice. They introduce themselves as the Pentlings, cheerful creatures who live to add color to the world. One Pentling excitedly hops onto Nobita's shoulder and says, "Welcome, visitor. You must be dreamers." Another squeezes around Jian and tries to add a splash of bright red onto his shirt. Jian roars, "Hey, don't paint on me," and kisses it, making everyone laugh. But then the mood shifts. A dark shadow passes over the land. The colorful sky dims slightly, as if someone had smeared black ink across it. The paintless freeze in fear and whispers nervously, "He is coming, the crow of darkness." Doraemon narrows his eyes. "Crow of darkness?" Shizuka shivers. Who are they talking about? The paintlings huddle together, refusing to say more, and quickly scatter away. The kids exchange nervous glances. Nobita girls. Maybe they are just exaggerating, right? But in the distance, the camera briefly shows a massive dark crow shaped silhouette perched on a ruined tower, its glowing red eyes staring at them. The scene cuts back to the kids, unaware that they have just taken their first step into a much bigger and more dangerous adventure. The kids begin their journey deeper into pictures world, walking along a glowing path that looks like it's been painted with golden strokes. Every step they take leaves behind a small splash of color, as if their presence itself is adding life to the canvas. Nobita skips along happily, his confidence finally boosted. See, my imagination is not so bad after all, he says with a grin. Shizuka smiles kindly at him. Yes, Nobita, this world really is beautiful. You should be proud. Nobita blushes, scratching the back of his head. For once, he feels respected. Sunio, however, rolls his eyes. If I had run this world, it would have had a private resort, five-star hotels, and a giant theme park dedicated to me. He begins sketching something on the ground with a stick, muttering about luxury. Jian snorts. That's useless. If I had run it, there would be a giant stadium where everyone could watch me, sing and cheer for me. He yells so loudly that even the trees seem to shake. Doraemon groans. You two never change. As they continue, they encounter more curious creatures. A walking pallet waddles past them, its surface covered in shifting colors. It kindly offers Nobita a dab of paint, which magically heals the scratch on his knee. Shizuka gasps, even the tool of art are alive here? Doraemon nods thoughtfully. Yes, this world reflects imagination itself. Everything has purpose and everything has feeling. But suddenly, the peaceful atmosphere is broken. The sky darkens again. Blotches of black ink drip across the horizon. A once bright rainbow fades into grey. The children stop in their tracks as the ground beneath them trembles slightly. The paintings they made earlier rush past them, shrinking. Hide, hide, he is near. The little creatures dive into the bushes, leaving trails of color behind. Nobita clutches Doraemon's arm. What's happening? A heavy caw echoes across the valley. From the distance, the dark crow shaped figure, seen earlier, spreads its massive wings. Its feathers drip like black paint, oozing corruption onto the land below. Where, where, Wherever this shadow touches, flowers wilt and rivers turn muddy grey. The children stare in horror. Shizuka whispers, That must be the crow of darkness. Doraemon's face turned serious. So it's true. Every world, even one born from imagination, has balance. Too much light creature shadows. This this creature must be shadow of the entire picture world. The crow speechless screeches loudly, its red eyes glowing. It does not attack directly yet, but its presence is enough to send shivers down everyone's spine. Jian, pretending not to be scared, shouts, "Hey, if it comes here, I'll punch it straight in the brick." But his knees are visibly trembling. Sunyu hides behind Doraemon. Yeah, right, Jan. Look at the size of it. We are doomed. Nobita gulps. Maybe. Maybe if we are just stay quiet, it don't notice us. The crow tilts its head almost as if it heard Nobita's whisper and lets out another chilling caw. Then, without warning, it flaps its wings and vanishes into the horizon, leaving behind streaks of black ink that slowly spread across the once beautiful sky. The children breathe heavily, relieved but unsettled. Doraemon adjusts his gadget scanner. That creature is not just dangerous, it's actively feeding on this world's colors. If it keeps spreading, the picture world will collapse into darkness. Nobita looks down at his shaky hands. For the first time, he realizes this adventure might not just be fun, it might be a responsibility. The children steal second from the terrifying presence of the crow like shadow. Sit beneath a giant tree shaped like a paintbrush. Its bristle sway in the breeze like green leaves. Nobita keeps glancing at the sky nervously, afraid the creature might return. Shizuka gently places a hand on his shoulder. Don't worry, Nobita. We are all together. As long as Doraemon is here, we will be okay. Her words gives Nobita a small boost of courage. Though his knees continue to wobble, Jian, pretending to be fearless, strikes a pose. Huh? That bird didn't even dare fight me. It flew away because it knew Jian Sama was here. He flexes his muscles dramatically. Sunio laughs nervously. Yeah, right, Jian. If you were so tough, why were you hiding behind me? Jian growls. As not hiding, as strategizing. Doraemon sighs, shaking his head. Just then, a warm golden light glimmers nearby. From the brush tree, a small group of mystical beings appears. They look like living strokes of paint, thin glowing lines that float gently in the air, constantly shifting colors. Each has eyes like shining gems. One of them speaks in a soft but echoing voice. Travelers from the outside, you must be careful. The crow of darkness has already sensed you. Nobita stammers. We didn't mean any harm. We just came here to explore. The leader of the being introduced itself as Luminar. a guardian spirit of the picture world. Luminara explained that this realm is born from imagination, but imagination can also create fear and darkness. The crow is a manifestation of those darker thoughts, jealousy, anger, doubt, everything that suppresses creativity. Shizuka asks, so that crow exists because someone imagined it? Luminara nods slowly, perhaps not directly, but it is born from imbalance. For every bright stroke of hope, there is a shadow, and right now this shadow is growing stronger. Nobita looks down sadly. Maybe, maybe it's my fault. I always think negatively about myself. I doubted my drawing skills. I was embarrassed. Maybe I created that thing without meaning to. For once, Jian and Sonia don't tease him. Jian scratches his head awkwardly. Don't say that, Nobita. Even if you are clumsy, you are not. You know evil. Sonia asks, yeah. If anyone created that monster, it would probably be Jian with its scary singing. Jian yells, what was that? But his shout actually lightens the mood a little. Luminara smiles gently. Do not be afraid. Shadows exist, yes, but so do colors strong enough to fight them. You, Nobita, and your friends may be the key. Your arrival here was not by accident. Doraemon, intrigued, asks, is there a way to stop the crow of darkness? Luminara glows from the flickers as she responds, yes. To restore balance, you must find the tree branches of creation. They are scattered across this world. One in the Valley of Colors, one in the Tower of Sketches, and one in the Forgotten Gallery. Only when these brushes are united can the crow be sealed away. Shizuka gasps, three brushes, so it's like a quest? Sunya mutters, this is starting to sound like one of those RPG games. Luminara warns them, but the path will not be easy. Each brush is guarded by trials, and the crow will do everything in its power to stop you. The children exchange nervous glances. Nobita gulps again, but this time, instead of backing down, he clenches his fists. If this is happening because of me, then then I'll help fix it. I don't want my imagination to hurt anyone. Shizuka smiles warmly at him. Doraemon pats his back proudly. That's the spirit, Nobita. The guardians guide the group to a safe resting spot, a meadow where the grass glows faintly like fireflies. They provide the children with faint like food that tastes sweet and refreshing, restoring their energy. As the kids sit and eat, Shizuka admires the magical scenery, while Jian boasts about how he will be the one to grab the first brush. Nobita, though still scared, begins to feel that maybe he can really contribute this time. But in the distance, the crow watches silently, its red eyes gleaming in the dark. A faint, sinister laugh echoes in the night air, unheard by the children. The next morning, in the glowing meadow, the children wake up to the strange yet soothing sounds of this magical world. Trees humming softly like violins, river bubbling like xylophones, and little creatures chirping in musical tones. Nobita stretches and yawns, his messy hair sticking out in every direction. Doraemon hands him a calm gadget, muttering, "At least try to look like a hero if we are going on an adventure." Shizuka, already neat and ready, ties her ribbon tighter, smiling with determination. Jian stretches like a warrior, punching the air. Today is the day Jian Sama conquers the fast trial. Sunio, carrying a shiny mirror he somehow got from Doraemon's pocket, checks his reflection. And today is the day. I make sure I look good for these cameras. Nobita says if there are any, rolls his eyes. And the guardians reappear, glowing softly like sunrise. Luminara points towards the horizon, where the sky is brushed with dazzling array of reds, orange, and golds. That is the Valley of Colors. It is the birthplace of imagination itself. But be aware, the valley is alive and it will taste the oath of those who enter. The kids gulp but nod. Doraemon equips everyone with a few gadgets just in case the anywhere brush lets them paint part to cross the gap. The color shield, a small umbrella that blocks harmful ink, and a backup supply of Dora cake for himself. Nobita, as usual, gets stuck with carrying half the supplies, stumbling under the weight. As they walk, the scenery shifts from soft pastel fields into rolling hills, painted with bold strokes of red, blue, and green. The ground feels spongy, almost like stepping on a painting's canvas. Every step leaves behind a footprint of colors that slowly fades. Shizuka marvels. It's like walking inside a giant masterpiece. Soon they reach the valley. It is breathtaking. Rivers shimmer with liquid rainbow. Trees bloom with petals that constantly change hues. And the sky itself looks like an artist's swirling palette. But at the center of the valley rises a massive arc made of crystal paintbrushes. The entrance to the trial. Before they can enter, a strange figure emerges from the Rainbow River. It is the guardian beast, shaped like a lion but covered in shimmering brushstrokes instead of fur. Its mean its mane glows like sunlight on wet paint. The lion's voice booms. Who dares to enter the Valley of Colors? The children freeze. Nobita stammers. We are just visitors. We are here to find the first brush of creation. The lion narrows its glowing eyes to weird, wild such power. You must prove your hearts are worthy. The valley accepts only those who can bring harmony, not chaos. The trial begins. The lion roars, and suddenly the valley shifts. The trees lose balance, colors clash violently. Rivers swirl into storms of paint. The children are caught in a chaotic storm of hues. Doraemon shouts, "Stay together, this is the test." Each child faces their own challenges. Shizuka must calm a storm of clashing colors by painting a soothing melody across the sky. Jian must resist his urge to dominate and instead singing softly to balance the color. At first, he shouts, making it worse, but Shizuka encourages him, and eventually he sings a surprisingly gentle love in a lovely way. Sunio is tempted to paint himself a throne, but realizes selfishness will doom them. He reluctantly paints a bridge for everyone instead. Nobita, trembling, finds himself holding the anywhere brush. A deep voice whispers in his ear, "You are useless. You will only mess this up." The crow's shadow flickers in the storm above, but then Nobita remembers Shizuka's word. And Doraemon trusts. He takes a shaky breath and paints a bright golden sun. The storm erases. The clashing color blend together, forming the harmony. The lion guardian bows. You have passed, though flawed. Your heart shines with will to create, not destroy. From the sky, a giant brush floats down, shimmering with countless shades. It lands softly in Nobita's hand, the first brush of creation. Nobita stares at it in awe, but in the distance, on a cliff above, the crow of darkness spreads its wings. Furious with every brush they gain, it grows weaker, and it will not allow that to continue. Its red eyes lock on Nobita. After receiving the first brush of creation, the group takes a moment to admire it. The brush gleams with shifting colors, its bristles glows as though dipped in eternal light. Nobita holds it close, both proud and terrified. Shizuka encourages him with a gentle smile. "That's amazing, Nobita. You really did it." Doraemon nods. "Yes, but remember, this is the only beginning. Two more brushes remain." The guardians reappear once more, their former rippling like strokes of watercolor. Luminara raises a hand towards the distant horizon. Beyond the valley lies a towering structure piercing the clouds. It looks like a giant sketch rising out of the land, unfinished lines forming endless staircases, arcs, and spirals. That Luminara explains is the Tower of Sketches. It represents the first draft of imagination, the foundation of creation. But be aware, the tower judges teamwork. Only those who can rely on each other will climb it. The kids glance at each other. Jian crosses his arms. "Teamwork? Ha! I'll carry us all to the top by myself." Sunil snickers. "Yes, right. You'd probably get lost halfway up." Jian yells back. "What did you say?" Shizuka sighs. "You will never change." The journey to the tower is long. They cross fields filled with giant floating pencils, pass forests of half-finished doodles, and even encounter little creatures shaped like erasers hopping around. Nobita stumbles often, tripping over stray sketch lines that come alive and twist around his feet. Doraemon pulls him up every time, muttering, "Honestly, you would fall even in a flat drawing." Finally, after what feels like hours, they stand before the Tower of Sketches. The base is massive, its walls unfinished like rough doodles, yet impossibly tall, disappearing into the clouds above. A heavy door, sketched in black and white lines, blocks the entrance. Doraemon pushes it open, and instantly the kids are shocked inside by a gust of wind. When they land, they find themselves standing in a huge hall filled with floating staircases, shifting platforms, and incomplete bridges. The entire interior looks like an unfinished sketchbook, constantly changing. A booming voice echoes through the tower. Only by moving as one can you rise. If you split apart, you will fall into the void. The trial begins. At first, the kids charge ahead recklessly. Jian rushes onto a platform alone, only for it to crumble beneath him. He barely clinches to the edge, screaming, "Help me!" Sunio hesitates, tempted to laugh, but Shizuka yells, "Don't just stand here." Together, they pull Jian up. Next, they reach a staircase that keeps breaking unless everyone steps in rhythm. Doraemon quickly realizes it's like a puzzle. He claps his hands in a steady beat, guiding the group to move step by step. Jian complains, "Why do I have to follow Nobita's rhythm?" But when he ignores it, the stair vanishes under his again. Crumbling, he finally complies. Higher up, the tower tests them even harder. A giant sketch dragon swoops down, made of swirling ink lines. It blocks the path. Roaring, Doraemon uses the color shield to deflect its ink blast, but it's not enough. The group panics until Nobita blurts out, "If we combine our ideas, maybe we can draw something to fight it." For once, everyone agrees. Shizuka sketches a pair of angel wings. Sunya adds a gleaming sword. Jian insists on drawing massive fists. Nobita, with a shaky hand, adds a shield. Doraemon uses the Anywhere brush to bring their combined doodles to life. A glowing guardian knight. The knight clashes with the sketch dragon in a spectacular battle, finally forcing it to dissolve back into harmless lines. Exhausted but united, the children finally reach the top chamber of the tower. Floating at the center in the second brush creation, glowing silver, it hovers above pedestal of unfinished sketches. Nobita carefully takes it, his hands trembling again. The booming voice echoes once more, only through unity can imagination rise. Remember this. The kids cheer. Jian even slaps Nobita's back, laughing. "You did not even mess up this time. Not bad, crybaby." Sunio adds reluctantly, "Yeah, you actually helped." Nobita blushes for once, feeling proud. But far below, in the shadow of the tower, the crow of darkness watches. It screeches in fury, threading black ink through the lower floor. Cracks of darkness glittered upward, chasing after the children. Doraemon realizes, "We need to leave now." The children barely escape the tower of sketches as the crow of darkness spreads its shadow across the lower levels. They tumble out of the tower doors, gasping for air. Behind them, the once bright structure now has cracks of inky black crawling up its surface like veins. Doraemon wipes his forehead. That was too close. The crow is not just waiting anymore, it's actively chasing us. Nobita looks down at the two brushes in his hand. The first glowing with rainbow hues, the second shines silver. They feels heavy, not in weight, but in responsibility. Shizuka gently reminds him there is still one more left, the most important one. Luminara, the guardian, reappears once again, her form dimmer this time, as though even she is being weakened by the crow's corruption. Her voice is softer, the last brush lies in the forgotten gallery, a place where unfinished ideas and abandoned creations rest. It is a realm of silence where imagination goes when it is lost. The kids shiver. Sunio mutters, abandoned? You mean like the stuff we draw and then throw away? Luminara nods. Yes, even dreams, when left behind, end up there. The crow grows strong by feeding on the forgotten hopes. The path to the forgotten gallery is unlike the vibrant lands they have seen before. The sky is dim the skies dim to dull grey, the grass loses its shine, and the world feels empty. They pass broken statues, crumbled paintings, half erased doodles that tweet sadly but never move. Nobita, overwhelmed by guilt, whispers, These these are like me. I have abandoned so many drawings because I thought they were bad. Shizuka gently takes his hand. But look, Nobita, even if they are imperfect, they still exist. They still mattered. As they walk deeper, faint voices echoes around them, whispers of forgotten characters and ideas. A teddy bear with one ear torn speaks softly. Play with me again. A half finished kite floats weakly. Fly me just once. Nobita can't bear it, begins to tearing up. Jian, though usually loud, walks silently here. Even he feels the weight of sadness around them. Sunya nervously clutches Doraemon's arm, muttering, I don't like this place. It feels cursed. Doraemon explains quietly. It's not cursed, it's lonely. Finally, they arrive at the heart of gallery. A giant hall stretches endlessly, its walls filled with broken frames, faded sketches, and paintings torn in half. At the center, surrounded by darkness, floats the third brush of creation, black in color, yet glowing faintly like embers. As Nobita reaches for it, the ground shakes violently. From the shadow, the crow of darkness swoops down at full strength, its wings spread across the entire hall, blotting out what little light remained. Its voices echoes deep and mimicking. Fools, you dare steal from the forgotten? These creations are mine to devour. The children back away, terrified. The crow's talons strike the ground, shattering frames and scattering dust. Nobita clutches the process, trembling. We have to fight, right? Doraemon pulls out Gadget in a panic, but the crow's darkness eats through them instantly, reducing them to black goo. The crow lunges forward, targeting Nobita especially. Its voice taunts him, whispering his tears, worst fears. You are useless. You are a burden. You will never create anything worthwhile. Nobita falls to his knees, covering his ears. Tears stream down his face. Shizuka shouts, Nobita, don't listen. You have already created so much beauty here. Jian roars, if anyone says Nobita useless, they will have to get through me first. He charges at the crow, swinging his fist, though he's tossed aside like a rag doll. Sunio surprisingly steps forward next. Though shaking, he yells, Nobita may be clumsy, but he is braver than me. He kept going even when he was scared. He throws a rock at the crow, tiny, useless, but the courage behind it shines. The brush is in Nobita's hand start glowing brighter. The fast brush radiates warmth. The second shines with silver, and the third calls out faintly, waiting for him. Doraemon kneels beside Nobita, holding his shoulder. Nobita, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep trying. That's what makes you special. Nobita sobs but finally raises his head. His trembling hands reach towards the third brush. As soon as he touches it, all three brushes glow together, their light intertwining. A surge of energy bursts through the hall, pursuing the crow back. The forgotten gallery shakes as the unfinished paintings begin to glow, cheering Nobita on. The teddy bear, the kite, the doodles, all of them lend their strength. The crow of darkness screeches in rage, but for the first time it looks afraid. The hall of forgotten gallery trembles as Nobita clutches the third brush of creation. The moment the three brushes unite, they begin to resonate with one another. Bright streaks of light swirl around Nobita, wrapping him in a protective aura of colors. The crow of darkness lets out a furious, ear-splitting screech. Its massive wings beat so strongly that the broken frames on the walls shatter into dust. The ground itself begins to split, revealing an endless void of black ink below. The creature dives towards Nobita, its talons glowing with red corruption. Doraemon shouts, Nobita, use the brushes, but Nobita freezes. His fear creeps back as the crows scoop closer. His hands shake, his knees buckle, the voices of doubt written. You will ruin everything, you will fail your friends, you will destroy the world. Just then, Shizuka steps in front of him, spreading her arms protectively. If you cannot believe in yourself, then believe in us. We believe in you, Nobita. Her eyes shine with courage. Jian stumbles back onto his feet, brushed but defiant. Cry, baby, or not, you are my friend, and no one, nothing hurts my friend. He grabs a broken frame and hurls it at the crow. It shatters harmlessly, but his determination echoes like thunder. Sunio, despite trembling, points at the crow and yells, We will win together, Nobita. You are the only one who can use those brushes. So stop crying and do it. Nobita looks at them, his friend, standing against impossible odds. For the first time in his life, he feels the weight of their trust. His tears stop. He takes a deep breath and grips all three brushes tightly. The brushes glow brighter, fusing together into one gigantic paintbrush that shines like a beacon of pure imagination. Nobita raises it above his head. The crow screeches in rage and lunges again, but Nobita slams the brush onto the ground, painting a massive stroke of golden light. Color explode outward, forming a radiant barrier that pushes the crow back. The battle begins. The crow dives and slashes with its wings, sending a waves of black ink across the gallery. Doraemon deploys the color shield, blocking as much as he can, while Jian charges at the ink waves, punching them aside with sheer willpower. Shizuka paints calmly, patterns in the air with her small brush, stabilizing the collapsing world around them. Sunio, though winning the whole time, creates quick sketches of ladders and bridges, saving his friends from falling into the void. Meanwhile, Nobita focuses on the giant brush. Each stroke the makes reshapes the battlefield. He paints a giant rainbow that blasts the crow back. He sketches a shining sun that drives away the spreading ink. He even draws wings on himself floating into the air to face the crow directly. The crow roars, summoning all the forgotten shadow of abandoned creations, dark visions of broken toys, erased drawing, and unfinished stories swarm towards the kid. For a moment, it looks hopeless, but then something incredible happens. The abandoned creations Nobita had seen earlier, the teddy bear, the happiness kite, the lonely doodles, begin glowing with colors. They rise from the shadow and fight alongside the children, inspired by Nobita's courage. The crow screeches in fury, its body cracking under the pressure of light and color. Nobita flies upward, holding the giant brush high. This world does not belong to your darkness. It belongs to imagination, to hope, and to dreams. With a final mighty stroke, Nobita paints a colossal circle of light across the sky, sealing the crow within it. The darkness shrinks and traces, but the circle tightens, locking it away forever. The gallery erupts into blinding brilliance. The void disappears. The broken frames restored themselves, and abandoned creations are given new life. The crow is gone. Nobita lands softly on the ground, exhausted but smiling. The brush dissolves into golden sparkles, its power fulfilled. Shizuka runs to him, tear of relief in her eyes. You did it, Nobita. Jian claps him on the back, hard enough to nearly knock him over. You are not so useless after all. Sonia nods reluctantly. Yeah, maybe you are not always a crybaby. Doraemon beams with pride. I knew you can do it. For the first time, Nobita feels like a true hero. The glowing brushstrokes fades and the picture world begins to heal. The once fading skies now sparkle with new colors. The grey mountains regain their green slopes, rivers shimmer with life again, and the broken, incomplete creations laugh and dance in joy. The guardians gather around the children. Luminara, glowing softly, says in her gentle voice, thank you, children. You have restored balance. You showed that even the weakest hand can hold the strongest imagination. Nobita looks down, unsure if she really means him, but Doraemon pats his shoulder firmly. She is right, Nobita, you did this. Shizuka smiles warmly. Yes, without you, we could not have made it. Jian grinds, I'll admit it. For once, you actually saved the day. Sunya folds his arms, pretending to be cool. Yeah, but don't expect me to say thank you too much. Everyone laughs together. Even Nobita, whose cheeks are red but whose eyes are shining with pride. The guardians raise their hands and a glowing canvas forms under the children's feet. The world around them hums like a giant painting, being signed by its creator. Luminara bows deeply one last time. Written now. Carry the lesson with you. Every dream matters, every picture has life. The children slowly rise on the glowing canvas, drifting towards a swirling portal of colors. Nobita looks back one last time. He sees the teddy bear waving goodbye, the kite flying freely, and the gallery alive with joy. Nobita waves back with a trembling smile. Goodbye, I'll never forget you. The group tumbles out of the sketchbook with a loud crash. Pencil rolls everywhere, and the Doraemon scramble to close the glowing pages before they settle into their ordinary look again. Everyone stands up, rubbing their heads. Shizuka giggles softly. That was, that was incredible. Like stepping into a dream, Jian yawns loudly. Dream or not, I'm starving. Sonia nods quickly. Yeah, let's go eat something. Doraemon carefully places the sketchbook on the desk and says, in serious tone, remember this, everyone. That world exists only because imagination exists. Never underestimate your own creativity. The group heads out, still chattering. Nobita lingers for a moment, starting staring at sketchbook. His hands touch its cover gently and he whispers, I really did something good this time. For once his voice is steady, not doubtful. He walks to the window and looks at the sunset, the sky glowing like a giant canvas. The colors remind him of the picture world, and a soft smile spreads across his face. As the screen fades, we hear, we hear Nobita's words softly echoes. Imagination, it really can change everything. The next morning begins in the most ordinary way possible. Nobita's mother yelling, Nobita, you are going to be late again. Nobita jumps out of the bed, still groggy, but something about him is different. He is not grumbling or complaining. Instead, he quickly grabs his school bag and looks at the sketchbook on his desk. The pages no longer glow, but Nobita smiles and pats it gently. Thank you, he whispers before running downstairs. At school, the art contest preparation are in full swing. Students are pinging their drawings on the classroom board. Shizuka's painting shows a beautiful landscape with cherry blossoms. Sonia shows off his modern art full of fancy lines and sparkles, while Jian loudly declares that his pictures of superhero version of himself will win first prize. The class laughs and cheer, each proud of their work. Nobita walks in quietly, clutching his paper. His heart races. Normally, he would be shaking with fear, but this time he feels a calm courage. Doraemon, disgusted as a normal a cat sitting outside the window, gives him an encouraging nod. The teacher asks Nobita to hang his picture. Slowly, Nobita walks to the front. The class holds its breath, expecting scrabbles, expecting a disaster. Nobita pins up his drawing and steps aside. The picture shows a small teddy bear holding hands with a group of children under a sky filled colors. It's simple, not perfect, but full of warmth. The lines may wobble, but the emotion shines through. For a moment, this class is silent. Then Shizuka smiles brightly. That's really sweet, Nobita. Jian frowns but they mutters. Not bad. Sonia smirks, but it's softer than usual. Well, at least it's better than last time. The teacher studies it carefully and nods. This is very good, Nobita. Art is not about being perfect, it's about expressing your heart, and this picture does exactly that. Nobita's cheeks flush red. His classmates actually like his drawing. He almost cannot believe it. For once, he's not the boy everyone mocks. He's the boy who showed courage through his art. At the, at the day ends, Nobita walks home with his friends. Shizuka tells him, "You should draw more often." Jian says, "If you keep practicing, maybe you will be almost as good as me someday." Everyone laughs. At home, Nobita runs into his room, sits at his desk, and pulls out a clean sheet of paper. He begins to draw, not for the contest, not for others, but just for himself. His strokes are still clumsy, but his smile is bright. Doraemon watches quietly from the side, proud of him. The camera pulls back from Nobita's room, showing the peaceful neighborhood of Tokyo. The sun sets again, painting the skies in orange and pink, the same color that once filled the picture world. The story closes with Nobita's voiceover, soft but confident. "Maybe I'll never be perfect, but I will always keep imagining." Fade to black, the end. This movie is not just about Doraemon, Nobita, and their friends. The picture world introduced us to a colorful of new characters, each carrying meaning, symbolism, and emotional impact. Let's do through let's go through them one by one. The Pentlings. The first creature that the children meet inside the picture world are the Pentlings, small living doodles that pop out of the ground like bouncing blobs of ink. Each one is based on a childlike drawing. Some are stick figures, some are animals with funny proportions, other looks like scribbled toys. They present pure imagination, the kind that comes from unpolished creativity. They welcome Nobita warmly, showing him that even clumsy art can have life. The paintings serve as a reminder that art is not about skill, it's about heart. The little bat. Early in their journey, Nobita sketches a tiny bat by mistake and it comes to life in the picture world. Unlike other doodles, the bat stays with them, fluttering around their heads, squeaking cheerfully. At first, Jian teases Nobita, calling it useless, but the bat later proves to be a brave, guiding the children through dark caves and warning them approaching shadow. The bat symbolizes how even a silly mistake can become something valuable. What Nobita thought was a bad drawing turns into a loyal companion. The mysterious girl. Halfway through the story, the children meet a strange girl living in the forgotten gallery. She wears a dress made of patched color and carries a paintbrush much bigger than herself. At first, she is shy and avoids them, but eventually she explains her backstory. She was once drawn by a lonely child in the real world, but that child abandoned the sketch. Forgotten, she drifted into the picture world. Despite her sadness, she helps Nobita and his friends, warning them about the dangers of the crow of darkness. The girl's character adds emotional depth, showing the pain of abandoned dreams. She connects especially with Nobita, who also feels like a failure sometimes. Through her, Nobita realizes that imagination, once given life, should never be discarded. The sketch dragon. One of the most visually stunning creatures in the movie is the sketch dragon. At first, it's drawn as a rough, uneven dragon by Jian and Sunio, who argue about its design because of their conflicting imaginations. The dragon is unstable, its body flickers between shapes, and it traces wildly. At first, it seems an enemy chasing the children, but when Nobita approaches it with kindness, catching a missing piece of its wing, the dragon calms down and becomes a majestic ally. It later helps them in the final battle fighting against the dark shadow. The sketch dragon represents unfinished creativity, chaotic and unstable until given love and completion. The dark shadow. The main enemies in the film are the dark shadows, creeping figures made of spilled ink. They appear wherever abandoned drawings lie. They are faceless, shapeless, and constantly whispers in airy voices, forgotten, useless, and unfinished. These shadows symbolize self doubt and rejection. Every time Nobita thinks he is bad at drawing or useless, the shadow grows stronger. The more people abandon their imagination, the more the shadow spread in the picture world. They're frightening, but they are also metaphors for the inner fear every child has when showing their art to others. Luminara, the guardian of light. The most important guardian Luminara is a glowing figure made of radiant faint strokes. She guides the children through their quest, though weakened by the shadows. Her designs look like walking fading with a halo of light. She represents hope and imagination at its purest form. Nobita restores the forgotten gallery. It is Luminara who blesses him, telling him he is the true hero of the picture world. The Crow of Darkness. The true villain of the story is the Crow of Darkness, born from the countless forgotten sketches and erased mistakes. It is enormous with wings made of black ink, eyes that shine red. It scoops across the picture wall, blotting out colors and consuming unfinished creations. The crow is not evil for the sake of being evil, it is the embodiment of neglect. When children give up on their ideas, the crow feeds on them. It tells Nobita cruel words like "you will never be good enough," echoing his real world insecurities. In the final battle, Nobita does not defeat with strength but by believing in his art and completing the gallery with his imagination. The crow dissolves into light, showing that acceptance can heal even the darkest doubts. Other side characters. The teddy bear, a small doodle Nobita made who acts as a cheerful guide. The kite, once half finished, which later soars proudly after Nobita redraws it. The guardian lion in the valley of colors who tests children's courage. Countless doodles creatures, fishes, birds, stickmen, all of whom add richness to the world. Summary of their importance: each character, no matter how small, plays a role in teaching Nobita a lesson. Nothing drawn, nothing imagined is ever truly useless. Even abandoned sketches can come alive if given love. That's what makes Nobita's Picture World Tales such a layered movie. It's not just a fantasy adventure but also a message about creativity, mistakes, and never giving up on your imagination. From the very beginning, the movie makes it clear that imagination is the real hero. Nobita, who is mocked for being bad at everything, discovered that ev- even his clumsy drawing hold life and meaning in the picture world. The paintings, the bat, the kite, all are born from imperfect drawings, yet they are alive and joyful. This teaches kids that imagination does not need to be perfect to be valuable. The final battle also reinforced that Nobita does not win with strength or gadgets but with creativity. By finishing the Forgotten Gallery, he proves that imagination has the power to heal and protect. The group dynamic in the movie is stronger than ever. Each character's personality plays a role in their journey. Shizuka brings kindness and encouragement. Jian brings bravery. Sunio adds cleverness. Doraemon provides duel but also wisdom. And Nobita, the underdog, brings heart. At first, Jian and Sonia laugh at Nobita's bat and dragon drawings, but later they realize those silly doodles saved their life. The teamwork theme is shown beautifully when everyone contributes their own imagination to fight the crow of darkness. It sends a strong message along the film, but together their ideas become powerful. Nobita's biggest enemy in the movie is not the Crow of Darkness, it's himself. The shadows feed on his insecurities. I cannot draw. Everyone laugh at me. I'm useless. Every time Nobita doubts himself, this shadows grow stronger. This is a clever metaphor for real life. Our failures and doubts makes problems seem bigger than they really are. But the turning point comes when Nobita accepts that even his imperfect art has value. By embracing his failures, he weakens the crow and restores balance. This is the one of the strongest hidden message. The movie constantly shows bad drawings. The crooked kite, the silly bat, Nobita's uneven teddy bear. Yet all of them end up being important. It teaches kids that imperfection is not weakness. In fact, imperfection makes imagination unique. If everything were perfect, art would lose its soul. The Forgotten Gallery is perhaps the most emotional part of the movie. It's filled with sketches and toys that children abandoned, each one whispering their sadness. This symbolizes how easily people throw away their dreams. The girl in the patched dress is a direct representation and abandoned creation. Through her, the movie shows that forgotten ideas can still hold beauty if given attention again. This hidden meaning speaks not only to kids but also to adults who gave up on hobbies, dreams, or art. In the climax, Nobita steps forward with a magic brush, even though everyone doubts him. This is the heart of movie's theme, having the courage to create, even when you fear failure. The movie tells us don't be afraid of what others say. Don't throw away your ideas just because they are not perfect. The act of creating itself is powerful. Real world reflection. The best Doraemon movies always connect back to real life. Here, the art contest at Nobita's school mirror, the picture world adventure. At first, Nobita is mocked, but in the end, he's the here the art contest, Nobita school mirror, the picture world adventure. At first, Nobita is mocked, but in the end, his simple teddy bear drawing touches people's heart. This ending shows that the lessons learned in the picture world are not fantasy. They apply to Nobita's real world too, and by extension to the audience watching. By the end of the credits roll, every viewer, child and adults receives this message. Don't stop imagining. Don't be ashamed of what you create. Every idea, every even if imperfect, has meaning. It's a message that timeless and that's why Nobita's picture world tales feels so powerful. The Doraemon franchise is famous for picking unique themes for each movie. Dinosaurs, space, legends, underwater worlds, time travel, and more. For 2025, the creators wanted to focus on art and imagination, a theme close to children's heart. The idea reportedly came during discussions at Fujiko, Fugio Productions, where writers asked, "What if what if Nobita's drawing could truly come alive? What if we made a world out of unfinished, forgotten art?" They wanted a movie that would encourage creativity in children while telling an emotional, magical, and adventure. Why art and imagination. Kids today spend a lot of time with digital gadgets, and the producer felt it was important to remind them about the joy of drawing, coloring, and imagining freely by focusing on sketches, doodles, and paintings. They created a story that inspires children to pick up a pencil and draw. Without fear of being laughed at, the movie reflects the simple yet deep truth. Imagination is not about being good or bad at art, but about expressing yourself. The visual style. One of the standout element of this movie is its visual design. The picture world does not look like a regular animated landscape. Instead, it has a painterly sketchbook style with brushstroke skies, watercolor forest, and doodle-like creatures. To achieve this, the animation team experimented with blending 2D hand-drawn art and a modern digital coloring. For example, the paintings were designed to look like crayon doodles moving around. The shadows were animated with flowing ink textures. The Crow of Darkness was created using a mix of 3D shading and traditional brush texture. This gave the film a unique identity, making it feel like you are literally inside a child's drawing. Character designs. The little bat was added as comic relief but also as Nobita's loyal partner, similar to how small sidekicks works in Disney and Ghibli films. The mysterious girl was carefully designed to feel both magical and sad. Her patched colored dress visually represents abundant art piece bleached together. The sketch dragon was designed to look unstable, with shifting outlines that make it seem half-drawn. Animators said this was one of the hardest creatures to bring to life. The Crow of Darkness was inspired by Japanese folklore creatures and also by spilled ink stains. The design team experimented with making it both terrifying and symbolic. The budget and production scale. The Doraemon movies typically have medium to large budget compared to regular anime films because they are annually releases with high expectations. It's estimated that Nobita's Picture World Tales 2025 had a budget of around 8 to 10 million USD, roughly 65 to 80 crores in Indian rupee. This budget covered animation, voice acting, music, marketing, and international distribution. Despite not being the most expensive anime production, Doraemon movies rely heavily on creativity and heart rather than flashy effects alone. Voice acting and music. Nobita's Japanese voice actress gave an especially heartfelt performance, making his doubts and courage feel real. The mysterious girl's voice was chosen to sound soft and slightly melancholic. The, the background score mixed orchestral music with piano and soft brushstroke like sounds to match the art theme. The final battle used a grand choir, giving the Crow of Darkness scene an epic atmosphere. The ending theme song is emotional, sung from Nobita's perspective about believing in yourself. It plays during the credits while showing sketches drawn by real children, trying back to the core theme of creativity. Before release, fans were already excited, calling it one of the most artistic Doraemon films ever. Early trailers showed the picture world, stunning visuals, and kids loved the idea of doodles coming alive. Critics praised the concept as being fresh yet nostalgic, reminding adults of the times by once doodle in notebook while inspiring kids to draw without fear. Unlike previous Doraemon movies, that explores outer space, ancient time, or fantasy kingdom. This film explores something much closer to home, a child imagination. That's why Nobita's Picture World Tales feels intimate yet magical. It's a movie about creativity itself, making it one of the most relatable stories in this series. Doraemon movies usually balance adventure, comedy, and an emotional core. Nobita's Picture World Tales pushes that balance towards something more thoughtful and artistic. Instead of traveling to space or the past, the character enters a world created by imagination itself. The core theme, every drawing has value, no matter how imperfect, is something children everywhere can connect with. Nobita, often teased for his clumsy doodles, becomes the perfect hero for the story. Its journey feels personal because the movie reflects real feelings, kids face, being laughed at, doubting themselves, and still finding courage. The emotional payoff when Nobita proves his sketches are meaningful is powerful and resonates deeply. Imaginative visuals. The art based world is one of the best unique landscape Doraemon films have ever shown. It feels like stepping into a sketchbook filled with life. Unlike some films that focus on epic scale alone, this one speaks directly to the audience, encouraging self belief, creativity, and expression. The mysterious girl adds emotional depth, while the bat and dragon provide contrast, comic relief, and epic fantasy. The Crow of Darkness is symbolic and memorable, a true representation of fears that haunt artistic and creators. No movie is perfect, and even here, some points stand out. The pacing in the middle slows a little when Nobita and friends explore side areas of the picture world. Younger viewers may feel slightly restless. Some side characters like Jian and Sonia don't get as much spotlight compared to Nobita and Shizuka. Their roles are important but limited. The ending, while emotional, may feel predictable to long-time Doraemon fans since many films conclude with Nobita saving the day with courage. Still, these are small points compared to the film's overall strength. When when placed alongside classics like Nobita's Tiny So Nobita and the Steel Troops, great adventure into the underworld, this film does not rely on huge spectacles like Space Wars or Giant Robots. Instead, it stands out for its quiet creativity and fresh visual direction. It's similar in spirit to Nobita's Secret Gadget Museum, playful, fun, and creative. But the emotional stakes here are differ because the theme of self-expression is something everyone can relate to. This film feels like more artistic and philosophical compared to other recent stories. Music and sound, the background score deserves praises. Every scene carries a melody that enhances its meaning. Light whimsicals notes in playful doodles areas, haunting violin piece when the shadows appear. A grand orchestral finish during the final showdown. The ending song is especially moving. It's simple yet uplifting, almost like a lullaby that reassures children your imagination matters. Children love the idea of doodles coming alive, but what's impressive is how adults connect with this film too. Many grown ups remember their childhood drawings that never got recognition, so the story feels nostalgic and emotional. Parents watching with kids will likely feel inspired to encourage their children's creativity more. Teachers are and artists may also find the film particularly relatable. Nobita's Pictures World Tales is not just another Doraemon movie. It's one of the most beautifully created entries in franchise. It may not have the massive scale of space or time travel adventure, but its heart, imagination, and message makes it shine brightly. It's a reminder that every child's doodles, no matter how imperfect, carries a spark imagination worth celebrating. Rating on story, visual, music, and emotional impact. This film deserves a strong 8.7 out of 10. A must watch for children, families, and fans of Doraemon everywhere. And with that, we came to the end of the deep review and breakdown of the Doraemon Nobita's Picture World Tales 2025. If you enjoyed this storytelling, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for amazing reviews and breakdowns coming your way.